Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd quickly do a partnerships question. It's one area I haven't made a video. Sorry, this is not done my normal way, but you'll still get the question. So for those of you who have missed the last few lectures on partnerships, this will be especially good for you. So let's have a look here at this question. It says Al and Bundy are partners in AB Enterprises. The financial year ends the 30th of June each year, and the following information is taken from the financial records of the partnership. So at the start of the year, which is the 1st of July 2024, Al had made a capital contribution of 200,000 Rand, and Bundy had made a capital contribution of 80,000 Rand. Now the capital accounts in a partnership only record capital contributions, so no other movements, only capital contributions, and if there is a withdrawal of capital, but only capital contributions are recorded in the capital account. The profit which each partner is entitled to will end up in the current accounts, because the current accounts of the partners show all the movements of transactions relating to partners, the current accounts. So it's a little bit different to a sole proprietor where the profit ends up in the capital account. In a partnership, the profit will be entered in the current accounts, the share of the profit. If there is an extra capital contribution during the year, it will be added to the balance of the capital account. Right, so let's just look at what we got here, what information has been given. So number one, the balance of the capital accounts, most probably to calculate interest on capital. Number two, we're going to do the current accounts, at least the workings of the current accounts. These are the opening balances. Important to note that one partner, Bundy, has a debit balance. Now this is, well, let's start with the credit balance. A credit balance is a favorable balance for a partner to have. That means in this case here, Al has a 20,000 Rand stake in the business, and Bundy actually owes the business 6,000. The partnership owes Al 20,000. Bundy has a debit balance, which means that Bundy has over withdrawn from the partnership. So for our purposes, we treat the debit balance as a negative and the credit balance as a positive, but more about that a little bit later. At the end of the year, these two partners had drawn these two amounts respectively. So Al had withdrawn 19,200 and Bundy had withdrawn 16,200, and the net profit for the year, which needs to be split amongst these two partners, is 80,000. So that's the information that has been given with regard to the partners' general ledger accounts and the net profit. If I move down here, additional information. So we're going to have interest on capital, 5% per annum. They're the capital amounts, 200,000 and 80,000. Bundy receives a monthly salary of 1,000. Look out for that. That's per month. So for a year, it's going to be 1,000 times by 12. Al receives a bonus of 10% of the net profit after the transfer of all interest and salaries. So L is going to get 10% of that 80,000 after we've taken off the interest on the capital and the salary of Bundy. Then L will receive a bonus. The balance of the profit is to be shared in the ratio 3:2 between L and Bundy. So L is going to get the bigger portion, 60%, and Bundy will get 40%, because that's 3 out of 5 and 2 out of 5. This is what's required. Prepare the appropriation statement for the year ended 30th of June 2025. Calculate the current account balance for each partner as it should appear in the statement of financial position on the 30th of June. Show your workings. So what we're going to do is we're going to show the appropriation statement for the year ended the 30th of June. So what happened to the profit? How was the profit divided? Then we're going to look at the individual partners' current accounts. So we'll take it from the opening balance. We'll take the additional information into account, and we will get the closing balance of the current accounts. Now in this question, they don't ask you to do general ledger accounts, but what would normally happen is general ledger accounts would be done. They're actually asking for the calculations of the current account balance at the end of the financial year of each partner. So we're not doing ledger accounts. So if we have a look at the solution here, we've got the appropriation statement for the year ended 30th of June 2025. That was the first question. So we start off with the net profit for the year, which was given to us. They always give you what the net profit is, 80,000. So we start off what's available to get divided. Now what we need to take off the profit is interest on capital. Now they said the interest on the capital was 5% on the capital balances. So there's the 5%. So the 5% is calculated on the opening balances of the capital accounts. So we'll look at 5% of 200,000 for L and 5% of 80,000. So how is the 80,000 profit being divided? L gets interest on capital of 10,000. That's 5% of 200,000. And Bundy gets 5% of his capital contribution. Together, the interest on the capital for both partners is 14,000. Then Bundy was receiving a salary of 1,000 Rand per month. Now this is kind of a salary that goes to a partner, is a special salary. They could have given it another name, but all the questions say salary. This salary is actually brought into account at the end of the financial year. That's why it's only been taken off the profit when the additional information is given to us. If one of these partners served within the business as the bookkeeper or something like that, that operating salary would have been taken off that profit already. But this is a special salary, and Bundy gets a special salary, maybe because of his qualification and the value he brings to the partnership. They thought they would give Bundy a special salary, which was 1,000 Rand per month. So that 12,000 there needs to be taken off the profit, the net profit for the year. So 1,000 times by 12 is 12,000 in brackets there. So now you got 80,000 minus the interest on capital, minus the salary to Bundy. And then they said L in the additional information gets a 10% bonus after number 1 and 2 have been taken off the net profit. So here we have what that says: the net profit minus interest on capital minus the salary to Bundy will give us an amount multiplied by the 10% will give us 5,400. So to calculate this bonus, we first had to take off interest on capital and that's salary, and that gives us 10% of 54,000, because 80,000 minus 14 minus 12 is 54,000, times by 10% is 5,400. So that 5,400 now gets taken off the net profit as well. So you got the net profit, and how it was divided was interest on capital, a salary to a partner, and a bonus to a partner. And that gives us 48,600 to be split, distributed amongst L and Bundy. And how it was distributed was, they said it was distributed 3:2. So L got 3 out of 5, 3/5, multiplied by 48,600 is 29,160. There it is, 29,160. And Bundy got 2/5 of 48,000, which is 19,440. Now this whole profit has been distributed, and the final balance here to show how the net profit was distributed is 0, because L and Bundy got interest on capital, Bundy got a salary, there was a bonus for L, and what was left is 48,600, and it was divided 3:2, which is 3 out of 5 for L and 2 out of 5 for Bundy of the 48,000. Now they also ask in this question to show the workings of the current accounts of L and Bundy. So there's L and there's Bundy. So let's have a look. The opening balance for L, if we go back to the information that was given to us and we have a look here, the opening balance for L was 20,000 and it was a credit balance. And while we're here, the opening balance for Bundy was, I think that says 6,000. Yep, 6,000. So we need to have a look at these opening balances because we used them in the workings. And we're starting with L. L had 20,000. Then L earned interest on capital. Remember, a credit balance for L is a positive balance. A debit balance will appear in brackets and starts as a negative in these workings. That means Bundy had over withdrawn from the partnership, and shall we say started with minus 6,000. So the opening balance for L was 20,000. L earned interest on capital, a bonus, got a distribution of the profit. Then we take off the drawings, and the drawings, they give us the balance of the drawings for each partner at the end of the year. There we go. So that gets taken off. So it is quite simple, this type of question. We got the current account here of L started with 20,000. There was interest on capital, a bonus, and a distribution of the profit, less the drawings, and the balance now in the current account of L is 45,360. Then for Bundy, remember Bundy had a debit opening balance in brackets, but earned interest on capital, a salary, and also got a distribution of the profit, less the drawings, gives taken Bundy back into positive territory, and the current account balance will be 13,240. Normally, these transactions go through the general ledger, current account, let's say for Bundy, and all these transactions would have gone through the current accounts, and it would end up this case here, Bundy with a balance of 13,240. But your typical question, they don't ask for the general ledger accounts for the NMU students. They're asking just to work out the current account balance for each partner or a partner, and they also ask for an appropriation statement. So if we have a look here, there's the appropriation statement, all the transactions relating to the partners. How was the profit shared? Interest on capital, salary. After the interest on the capital and the salary had been taken off, the bonus was calculated. And then the final profit after these amounts had been taken off the net profit, the 48,600 in this case, gets split between L and Bundy. And now there's no more profit to divide. Then they say calculate the final balance of, in this case, each partner's current account. Start with the opening balance plus interest on capital plus bonus plus the distribution of the profit less drawings. I think this is an easy question, and hopefully you guys are going to ace it, right? You can check there's some more additional questions that you can have a look at on Funda for the university students, my university students. I hope this helps a little bit more with partnerships. All the best for your exam. I hope it goes really well. Cheers.